Today, I'm going to be giving an update on my July dividends received. I have three monthly paying dividend companies, and I also received a dividend from one of my growth stocks. First, let's start off with one of my favorite investments, and that is Main Street Capital. It is a business development company, a BDC. Think of a BDC as a company that invests into small companies earning income from loans. It's run by its own team. It allows them to stay focused on their shareholders and keep the costs low. And even though lower rates hurt most BDC, this company has continued to grow, showing their strength while others struggle. How did they do this? Most of Maine's loans to businesses have flexible interest rates with a minimum rate. So there is a guaranteed amount set in stone. So they still make money if the rates drop. And to share an example, imagine if you have a $100 loan with a floating interest rate of 5%. If the rate drops to 3%, then your interest payment goes down to $3, saving you $2. For Maine, about 21% of their debt works like this. So lower rates reduce the cost significantly. This helps Maine to stay profitable even in lower rate environments because so many of their loans are set up in this way. They have steadily increased their dividend since their IPO back in 2007. And right now, as we are inching towards September, many of the stocks are currently down. But that's to be expected right now. Year to date, Main Street Capital is up 11.35%. Over the last 5 years, up 113.52%. They've been averaging solid returns on a yearly basis since back to 2010. And when it comes to my position in Main Street Capital, I'm currently up 52.55%. I have 41.9 shares in my portfolio, and this is one that I will have my alerts set so that I can try to catch price drops to continue to build up this position. Now, on to the one ETF that we'll be looking at today, and that is SPHD, Invesco's S&P 500 high dividend, low volatility ETF. Year to date, it's only up 1.1%. We see here the significant dip that this investment, as well as the stock market as a whole, took back in April when we were having Liberation Day and all of those tariff tensions. This fund, just like the name of it hints at, low volatility, is something for people that want safe, reliable dividends. There are only 50 holdings made up of big names in the S&P 500, but not those regular tech stocks, which lead many of the funds that are weighted by market cap. So they give that high exposure to companies like Apple, Microsoft, Nvidia, and Amazon, for example. This one is filled with stocks like Verizon, Pfizer, UPS, and Altria, chosen for their high dividends and low price swings. So it brings diversification in a different way than those S&P 500 investments. Here we're getting more exposure to real estate, staples, and healthcare, to name a few. It pays out monthly, and they have currently been on a 5-month streak of raising their dividend. So when it comes to SPHD, you're not going to be growing as fast as those tech funds, but it's still perfect for steady, reliable income. I currently have 38.9 shares, and I'm up 17.42% when it comes to my portfolio. Now, onto Realty Income, that monthly paying dividend company, the dividend paying landlord. This is a REIT, a real estate investment trust. It owns properties and pays out most of its profits and dividends. They've been steadily building up the amount of properties owned. Their dividend yield is over 5%, unlike those S&P 500 investments that are about 1.2%. They are known for steadily raising their dividends, and were even able to keep that up through the pandemic. When it comes to their latest earnings, they had a slight miss when it comes to earnings per share. Their quarterly revenue rose 5.3% year over year to $1.34 billion, which was slightly above analyst expectations. Year to date, Realty Income is up 10.48%, but over the last year, down 3.04%. Over the last 5 years, down 0.30%. When it comes to Realty Income, something that could help them is an interest rate cut. If we get that in September, this could lower Realty Income's borrowing costs, boosting profits and the stock price. So their stock price was over $70 back in February of 2020. We're currently down 30% from those peak prices that they had back then. But they've been growing their property portfolio and staying consistent with that steady dividend. But it has been disappointing not having any growth when it comes to the share price. When it comes to Realty Income, I have 110.9 shares in my portfolio on Moomoo, up just 1.8%. I also have a few shares in another portfolio, but I had my drip turned off last month, so there was no dividend payment. And before I give my quick rundown of my dividends received for the month of July, let's touch on that growth stock that paid out in July. And for me, that was NVIDIA. I saw this article with these headlines talking about don't laugh at NVIDIA's tiny dividend. And their dividend is a joke, but that could change fast. So NVIDIA is known as an AI leader. Tiny dividend of 1 penny per share quarterly. So definitely not anything to talk about, but that's not why I add these growth stocks to my portfolio. They could easily pay bigger dividends if they chose to. So their earnings are coming up on August 27th, later this week, and we will see if their Blackwell chips and other innovations drive the share price to all-time highs. And when it comes to NVIDIA, I'm currently up 69.51%. So here it is. My dividends received for the month of July were $46.35. Just 18 cents from NVIDIA, $29.55 from ticker symbol O, Realty Income, $6.08 from SPHD, and $10.54 from Main Street Capital, bringing my year-to-date total to $605.10. Passive income and growth when it comes to share appreciation as well as that dividend, excluding Realty Income, but I'm continuing to debate and will be doing my research to decide if I want to continue holding on to it or move that over into a growth stock that aligns better with my long-term goals, but I will keep you updated. So let me know in the comments, what's your go-to dividend stock? Do you track your dividends as they hit your portfolio? I just received my Apple dividend a few days ago. Drop me some comments. Let me know your thoughts. And feel free to ask any questions. I am Lisa J. Stocks. Thanks for watching. If you're not already, subscribe, like, and hit that notification bell so you can keep up with all of my videos and live streams. Thanks for watching. Okay, bye.